Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to PWR today for Thursday morning, Jumanji 30th, June 30th, 2022. The man they call Meathead, the M.O.T.S, M.O.T.S, the Matthew on the streets, the current defending, reigning PWR Fantasy Draft Champion, Matthew Thomas. Good morning, Matthew.
That's right. Thank you. Good morning. And there are going to be some points that rain down on me this weekend with Money in the Bank. Yeah, this is where you see the strategy really come into play, man. So I'm looking forward to that recap that we do on all those points, because I think some things are getting ready to go my way.
Some things are getting ready to pop off for you?
Oh, pop off and pull down, and because that's what you do. You pull down the briefcase, right?
As long as you don't pull it out. All right, let's talk about what we could be wearing, courtesy of our sponsor.
Do when you cash in the contract, you pull out the contract. So, yeah, pull out works as well.
Matthew, who sponsors the program?
That's Collar and Elbow brand, which they have really expanded their catalog here in recent weeks. So if you haven't been there recently, you are really out of the loop. collarandelbowbrand.com, and you can enter promo code LindaK to save you 10% off of that loot.
Some of the new ones are the world famous Good Brothers, Loser Leaves Town, the Sunset Flip, the Tiger Driver, Wrestling's Not Dead. Those are just some of the new shirts that are there. 10% off using the promo code LindaK. Matthew, it's going to be very AEW centric this morning, and I want to start off with something that's near and dear to my heart when it comes to wrestling in general. For those that don't know, Matthew, I think you know already, I love music, and I love music when it comes to my wrestling. If it's something like the Cash Money Brothers or whatever they were called, the CFOs, I think, when they were making themes like Glorious and Finn Balor's and Shinsuke Nakamura's, I love a good wrestling theme song. I mean, still to this day, Break the Walls Down by Jericho, one of my favorites. I mean, Jeff Hardy's music, when he came out to his own music, No More Words, or Kennedy's, Turn Up the Trouble. I love a good song, and it actually gets me really invested into a wrestler. Last night's Dynamite started off with brand new music. Matthew, are you aware of who that song is?
You're talking about Orange Cassidy's new
music.
Yep. And we actually we had mentioned it earlier in our off-air discussion. It's one of the variations of the Jeffersons right now, not moving on up, but either Jefferson, Starship, or Airplane. Correct.
Hey, did you know that fish don't burn in the kitchen and beans don't burn on the grill?
Hey, I'll tell you what, as much as you pop for the new theme song tonight, if Cassidy or anybody came into the Jeffersons theme song, I would have lost it.
Well, we're moving on up. Fish don't burn in the kitchen, beans don't burn on the grill. It took a whole lot of trying just to get up that hill. All right. No, that is Jefferson Starship, not Airplane. It was Starship, Jefferson Starship. Their song, Jane. I absolutely love the song. It's 40, 50 years old. It's back from the days of Woodstock, but so what? Who cares? It fits Orange Cassidy. And, once we get into, the match, which we're going to do right now, guess who was out there with his best friends last night, too? Chucky T in the house in a rainbow-colored onesie.
Absolutely. They were both decked out in the same gear, right?
Well, we've seen Trent. Roppongi Vice has been around for a long time. Trent wrestled on the pay-per-view Forbidden Door, but where's Chucky T been?
He's been gone for a little while, so maybe work it. He's got a shoe deal or something, right? People talk about Chuck Taylor shoes. I think he's something.
Have you ever worn a pair of Chucks?
Oh, I do. I own a pair of Chucks.
Wow, are they the original Chucks from like 1918?
No. These are like circa 2020.
Chucks look cool, but they honestly did nothing for my feet, and they hurt my damn heels. But they look cool.
Yeah, and they're actually very popular. If you're doing like exercises where you have your feet, planted on the ground, like a squat variation or a deadlift variation, where you don't want a lot of, basically curve in the texture of the shoe, they're really good. They provide a very good foundation. So this has been Foot Talk with Matthew and Meathead.
Now, for all of you foot fetish people, don't forget to join us at PWR Today After Dark.
Otherwise known as it's a podiatrist, right? So
podiatrist, yes.
So this would be
Podiatry Today.
Oh yeah, Podiatry Today. There you go.
Yeah. So let's start off with the opening match for AEW Dynamite, otherwise known as Blood and Guts last night. It was Orange Cassidy coming out to take on the Man of the Year, Ethan Page, all ego. And Dan Lambert, what is it? I mean, we knew where it was going to come out, but shouldn't you mention it right away that he's carrying a damn bottle of orange juice in his hand?
I mean, the
was
man
plugged
has
in
to,
the whole time waiting for the orange juice spot.
he has to stay hydrated, and I think this was a little bit of a tip in the
Does
hat.
orange juice dehydrate you?
I mean, it's liquid, right? Like there's not a natural
Soda's
diuretic.
liquid, and soda dehydrates you.
Yeah, I don't think orange juice does. But there was a very, and I don't know if you watched the full commentary when they were up top, but there was a very, very long roundtable discussion between JR and Taz about proper hydration when they were up on the very top of the cage. So like this was foreshadowing, maybe like yesterday was National Hydration Day, and
No,
they
that
were
was
just,
a week or 2 weeks ago. Unfortunately, I know when that was, and it wasn't last night.
Did you stay hydrated during National Hydration Day?
Of course I did. Bottles of water were handed out. They were flowing freely.
And so you're telling me,
like my friend, I pee freely.
You maintained a clear hue to your urine.
Yes. Oh my God, it was almost translucent.
Well, there you go.
Back to P Talk with Matthew. No, I'm kidding. You know what? What a great match. Now, obviously, they had to work around the fact that both rings were set up before the beginning of Blood and Guts. So, the rings were there, and I feel bad for the people that were ringside on the empty side because they had to look over all that.
Yeah.
Matthew, let me ask you this. I think I get it, and I know I get it. I think you get it, and I'm pretty sure you get it. Is there anybody left in the country that doesn't understand what Orange Cassidy is and does not love Orange Cassidy?
No, I think I think it's really been communicated well, and I think me and Linda discussed last week. We're at a point where it doesn't feel like that is his gimmick, but the whole thing doesn't feel gimmick based. Like they've communicated and it's been established well enough that this is what he does. This is his style. It's a little bit of a psychological type of thing, kind of like when we got to the point with the Undertaker, where you're still complete kayfabe, but all right, the guy's not really dead. This is what he does to get in the head of his opponents, and this is his style. I think you've got it on the way, way opposite end of the spectrum of Cassidy. I like the fact that we've been conditioned to accept the gimmick, but it still works in the context of a competitive match.
Right, because he can wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's get that point absolutely clear. He doesn't have to have his hands in his pocket. There's times that he takes his hands out of his pocket. It's the dick with his opponent. And, like the spot where Dan Lambert got up on the ring, he started punching at him, and then stole his orange juice, took a swig, and a thumbs up. I did not notice that he didn't swallow the orange juice because after a couple seconds, he sprayed the orange juice in Dan Lambert's face, a couple orange punches to Ethan Page, 1, 2, 3, the best friends, and Orange Cassidy with his new music, Jane from Jefferson Starship, are victorious.
Yeah, fine way to start the match. I got to ask you, since you are the wrestling music guy, and there's no, there doesn't have to be one side or another, but do you tend to prefer the original wrestling created songs or, something that has been repurposed like we had last night?
Both. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's got to fit, right?
Yep.
In WCW, while everybody was trashing it, even though WCW, compared to today's wrestling numbers, WCW was still pulling threes, right? And wrestling nowadays, Dynamite grabs a 1 usually. Raw can grab maybe a 1.5, a 1.8, whatever. NXT barely, hits like 500,000. Sting's WCW theme, after they put out that record, Sting came out to Seek and Destroy by Metallica. It was freaking awesome. Okay. Goldberg's alternate theme. Remember, Goldberg wasn't always coming out to the same theme. He came out to a different theme for a little while. Megadeth, Crush 'Em. Love that song.
And that's something I really need to utilize the network for, or the Peacock for.
But that won't be on there.
That's true. My goodness. You made a point, and I was just making a point of late WCW because I'd fallen out of WCW by that point, but you're right.
Let me go back to Jericho's stuff. Jericho comes out to break the walls down in WCW. Go back and watch the network or go, Peacock and watch any WCW footage with Jericho on it. His entrance theme is Break the Walls Down in WCW, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that
exists.
Yeah, that feels wrong, man.
It's super wrong. So because they don't own the broadcasting rights to the music that they had, it's not right. Now, technically, Jericho's WCW music, they should own the rights to because it was part of the TNT library. Remember in our interview, actually my interview with Jericho, he had mentioned that his theme song was also the same theme music for like NBA scores.
Yeah. So I don't know if this has been corrected or not, or where they stand as far as DVD or streaming, but I do know for a fact that was one of the hangups for years with basically a DVD release of WKRP in Cincinnati because of all
Baby, if you ever wondered. Go ahead.
not the main theme song, but all the actual audio that they used to use during that time.
Cincinnati, WKRP.
And I think we probably got fined for you singing that.
Got kind of tired packing and unpacking, town to town, up and down the dial. Can you finish it?
Fantastic. No, I can't. I was actually.
Maybe you and me were never meant to be, but maybe think of me once in a while. You can finish it now, right?
Still no. WKRP.
I'm at WKRP in Cincinnati.
See, I got like 3/4 of it correct.
Matthew, one of these days I'll bring you up to speed.
Fantastic.
I'm sorry. I mean, it's kind of a music-centric day today. Let's move on from the Orange Cassidy match. And let's talk about Christian Cage coming out and saying, I don't ever apologize, but let me apologize. I wish your whole family was dead. Wow. And he goes, now you're wondering why I'm not dressed for a match when I requested a match. The match wasn't for me. Dun, dun, dun. Luchasauras with new music. And he's coming out of the heel tunnel with Christian Cage as his manager. Matthew, thoughts?
I'm as interested in Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy and Christian Cage as I have been since either of those parties have been with the company.
I'll tell you what, we kind of, nobody knew this yet. We saw how Dynamite went off where, Christian and Luchasaurus were walking up the ramp. I gave you the notes and Linda and I saw this at Dynamite. Christian said, no, we go through this tunnel. And that was the heel tunnel, but that wasn't done on air.
Yeah. Outstanding.
Serpentico had to feel the wrath of Luchasaurus.
Yeah, and I mean, rebook this guy, give him some enhancement matches here. I am perfectly fine with that. Let us become acquainted with this variation of Luchasaurus because, in that dynamic, man, it was Jungle Boy was the guy that was highlighted in that team. Luchasaurus was his big buddy. Yeah, his muscle, his big buddy who thinks he's a dinosaur. Which, by the way, I ran across something the other day. Do you know that there's actually an actual named psychological condition where you think you're a werewolf?
Oh yeah, and what's that?
I can't remember the name of it, but it exists.
See, you can't set it up for us and then just not deliver. Coming up tomorrow on PWR Today, Matthew tells us the thing he brought up.
Yeah, and there's actually not a punchline or anything to it. It's actually a name. But yeah, I'll see if I can get that information.
Werewolfitis is what it says.
Get that information for you guys tomorrow.
Scorpio Sky Wardlow face to face. There's been a no physical confrontation kind of stipulation set between the two of them. But next week, Wednesday on Dynamite, a street fight for the TNT Championship. Scorpio Sky and Wardlow. I thought Scorpio was still injured. This is a good way to bring him back if he is injured, and we're going to get to more injuries in just a little bit. But Matthew, your thoughts on does Wardlow take the belt this Wednesday, or Scorpio hold on due to hook or a crook?
I don't know. All I'll say is they need to figure out a way so Wardlow does not lose the momentum that he's had. And I've got another question for you. Where in the world is MJF?
We can't bring his name up. He doesn't belong to AEW. He's sitting at home. He took his ball and went home.
Like
a la Shawn Michaels, a la Stone Cold.
Here's the thing, that was so hot when it happened, and I get you're trying to work it like you are, and you want to get everybody confused, but my goodness, they are sitting on an absolute red hot angle, and my concern there is you're going to lose a little bit of that heat. It's going to cool off a little bit, if you will.
Yep. All right, let's go to the Acclaim. Now, Matthew, I gave Linda a hard time because she likes to do the opening song or the bits for the rap. Can you do it? When Acclaim's music hits, what does it sound like?
It sounds like yo yo, and then let me
No?
tell you, let me tell you the part that I like, my favorite part that I can definitely do, and I want it, Al. If you're listening to this, we need this on a T-shirt, or AEW, we need this on a T-shirt. Give me a T-shirt that simply says "Scissor me, Daddy Ass." Yes, and
Scissor
I
me
will wear
daddy
that,
ass. There you
and
go.
I will order 7 of them, so I wear one each day.
Different colors. There you go. All right. Well, it's yo, listen. Max Caster called Danhausen a juggalo and mocked Flint, Michigan's drinking water. So Danhausen was challenged by the Gun Club, otherwise known as the Ass Boys, to Danhausen and Max Caster, because remember, Anthony Bowens is injured. And, Danhausen came out and says, yes, okay, hold on. I was told to go find partners. I found guys. They're good at professional wrestling. I don't know. What you see? And it's FTR. FTR and Danhausen defeats Max Caster and the Gun Club for the Ass Boys with a little bit of injury shenanigans at the end of this match. Anthony Bowens got up out of his chair and can move.
Yeah, good. I want to see. I want to see where this goes. The dissension between the Ass Boys, and the whole. It's not a happy family anymore. I'm really intrigued by this, and people are starting to come around on this group. I mean, they've always been immensely talented, but I think you're going to have a hard time. I don't know if they're even supposed to be heels at this juncture. I mean, they're over to that point. So I look forward to seeing where this goes. And AEW, especially in your recap right now, AEW did a great job last night of really featuring people that, fan favorites, the people that the crowd wanted to see.
Well, they were going to have a big main event that was going to take over a ton of their 2-hour program. So they featured other people that you don't normally get to see. All right. So, I love the TBS Championship match, but I didn't love it for how long it went. Jade Cargill with Stokely Hathaway and Kiera Hogan defeats Layla Gray. Now, I don't know if you know this, Matthew, but that is the OVW Women's Champion.
Absolutely. And, getting a prime spot there on AEW last night. And, I mean, the way we were teased a little bit, maybe not the last we see of her at AEW.
Athena and Chris Statlander ran out after Jade was on the microphone, attacked Jade and Hogan, but then Layla Gray, surprised them by stopping Athena from hitting the old face. oh, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And then Jade and company stood tall. Is Layla Gray joining the baddies?
That's certainly what they had us believe last night. So we shall see. Are you still upset about not being picked for a baddie a couple of weeks ago, last week?
Yeah, and Stokely Hathaway told me that my sisters in Christ, make it PG, please. All my pictures weren't PG. So
yeah. Now you've been known to do that.
The Bucks had said that they ran out of friends. They don't even have Brandon Cutler filming for them anymore. But they challenged Hiroko Goda and Yoshihashi for a AEW World Tag Team Championship match. That's going to come up tomorrow night on Rampage.
Interesting. I mean, they do an excellent job of booking Rampage each week. I mean, of course, we're getting it at the end of, it's taped at the end of the show, but they really do. I think they're doing a really solid job with keeping that program interesting and relevant. And not making it feel like the B program.
All right, so here's what's coming up on Rampage tomorrow night. You got the Young Bucks versus Chaos, which is Goto and Yoshihashi. Tony Storm against Nyla Rose. And there is a Royal Rampage 20-man battle royal for the #1 contendership to go against Jon Moxley for the interim AEW World Championship.
Question here for you. Does naming a battle royal, putting the name Royal in a battle royal just feel way too unoriginal for AEW?
Well, Battle Royal is the name of the match.
Oh, that's true. That's true. You've got Royal in there anyway. All right. So I take back that statement.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you call it a Rumble, then I'd say that's gimmick infringement. But
no, that's very
a Battle Royal is what the match is called. Mm-hmm. All right. JR joins for commentary. William Regal joined for commentary during Claudio's entrance. Hello, Mr. Man in the Mask. I love that. All right. Blood and Guts, the Blackpool Combat Club, Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, Eddie Kingston, Santana Ortiz against the Jericho Appreciation Society. Jericho, Guevara, Hager, Garcia, Matt Menard, and Angelo Parker with Tay Conte on the side. So this was a 6-on-6. The Jericho Appreciation Society had the man advantage. So after it was 1-on-1, they always get the 2-on-1 advantage until it timed out to get somebody else back in there. Matthew, your thoughts overall on the match? How bloody, how gutty it got,
Yeah.
and why were we on the top of the cage again? Is that just
So,
something for the
yeah.
fans?
Yeah, no, it's something for the fans, and I'll tell you, man. I mean, I know you've had matches where it's not always the case, but once you let that cat out of the bag, and that cat was let out of the bag in the summer of 1998, it's hard to put it back in the bag.
Isn't
And
that
not,
the anniversary? Aren't we a day off of the anniversary of when that happened?
you might be right, man. You might be right. Yeah, and and especially for promotion like AEW, who is cutting edge, who are going to take those chances the WWE's not going to take. That's why they ended up there.
Hey,
The
speaking
match,
of cutting edge, the top of that cage, that has got to be the safest looking top of a cage I've ever seen. Speaking of the Undertaker and Mankind Hell in a Cell, where it was just chain link that you're standing on, you could see every foot going in.
yeah,
There
yeah,
were spots up at the top that honestly were covered.
yeah,
I mean, just completely flat where you
yeah,
couldn't fall through because it was sheet metal.
yeah.
I would have no problem standing up there. I'd have to have somebody bring me down with a bucket, but
I might be okay once I get up.
right.
Like here's the thing: I might be okay once I'm if you can just place
Folks,
me on
I'm
top of the
afraid of
cage.
heights. I can't go
Yeah,
past, say, 25 feet.
yeah. The getting up there, there's no way in the world, man. I would
No.
scale that.
I'm going to
I
need to
would,
be in a cherry picker to get up
yeah,
there.
I would scale that, and just man, the swing on the top, and then Claudio with his celebratory fist in the air running. It's like, nah, dude. I literally got nauseous a couple times with them up there. The match was about what I expected. I mean, we've seen this before. This was kind of their moniker here. My big takeaway from all of this, and I was very curious as to how Claudio would be presented once we got out of Forbidden Door. You got a lot of big names in this match, a lot of people that people are hyped up to see. Claudio was the star of that match. You put Claudio in that AEW roster, he is a star. He is a star. And for how many years WWE, just did not feature him prominently as a star. I think
At
this
the
could
best
be.
time that they featured him as a star was only in a tag team with the Bar.
Yep. Short-lived, him being a Paul Heyman guy, winning that
Right.
battle royal. He was never featured in a prominent main event position. And I just think that really seeing the way, and here's the thing, it wasn't like a Cena or a Roman push, or like he's been on two shows. Like he hasn't been, rammed down the people's throats.
But he's
It
in the
was,
feature spot.
yes, and you see the way the audience reacts to that. And I'm not even talking about crowd reception. I'm talking about how this guy looks, how he looks in a ring with stars. And that's the thing that this guy's always had. He has had this combination of size, agility, and a technical prowess that I don't think
Yeah.
anybody else really has. There are people that can wrestle his style technically, but not with that powerhouse style on top of it. He is so versatile in the fact that he can work with smaller technical based people, and he can work with these bigger people as well too. And I think featured prominently, he is going to be an absolute major star for that company.
Overall, Blood and Guts wasn't as bloody or as gutty as I thought it was going to be. However, it dominated a good half of the show, which was more than I really enjoy in any particular wrestling program. I'm so happy with the front half of that show that they gave me, because I got stuff like Danhausen and FTR. I got Orange Cassidy with new music and, doing an orange spit. I got Jade Cargill possibly bringing on somebody from OVW. I mean, I got other things that I can hang on to, and then I got Blood and Guts.
Yeah. And like I said, they featured a lot of, fan-friendly stuff at the beginning, but it also seems like, okay, what AEW, where they can lose people at times is the fact that they're telling so many stories and they're doing a slow burn on so much stuff. You might have stuff kind of drop out of the picture for 3 weeks or be delegated to just
And
a
forget about
backstage
it.
segment. Yeah. And so like they played the hits last night.
No, they did great. Speaking of playing the hits, we're going to play some more hits tomorrow. We are going to preview Money in the Bank, which comes up Saturday. So the Friday show will be nothing but us previewing Money in the Bank and all the points the team they call Meatheads will be accumulating for winning the Money in the Bank ladder matches on the men's and women's side.
We'll see about that. I mean, this is what Team Nelson Mandela was built for. So it's a very, very strong possibility that Team Nelson Mandela comes out with not one but two Money in the Bank wins and all kinds of title retentions, and maybe Cody surprises everybody by vending some popcorn in the audience.
Oh boy,
a lot of
Matthew,
action on deck.
Yep, Matthew Thomas, it is time. So for Matthew Thomas, the man they call Meathead, hey, thanks for stopping by. Money in the Bank preview tomorrow. So long, everyone.